8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Indrani Senanayake. The headlines. The media police spokesman says that the investigation into the violence which took place on the 9th of May will be completed soon. Litro company to introduce mobile app on gas distribution from Monday. 60% of gas cylinders will be distributed daily to the Colombo and Gampaha districts. The examination chief urges students to arrive at their respective examination centres 2 hours before the start of the exam. 4 members of the same family have been critically injured in a fatal collision of a train and a jeep. In foreign news, Australia's ruling coalition in tight spot as votes counted. Media police spokesman SSP Nihal Taldua says that the investigation into the violence which took place on the 9th of May will be completed soon. 128 suspects have been taken into custody in this regard. 99 of them have been bailed out by a court order. 68 of them have been further remanded. The Litro Gas Company has taken measures to introduce a new app to educate consumers and agents on the possibility of obtaining gas supplies and distribution. The chairman of the company, Vijitha Herat, said that the new app will be launched on Monday. The correct information on the number of cylinders to be distributed in different areas can be received by the relevant agents. Meanwhile, the CEID has detected 40 gas cylinders hidden in a bakery in the Kolonnawa area. It has been reported that the relevant businessman has sold the gas cylinders at a higher price. Further investigation into this incident is being carried out by the Consumer Affairs Authority. The Committee on Public Enterprise has instructed Litro Gas to distribute 60% of its LP gas cylinders to highly populated areas like in the Colombo and Gampaha districts with limited alternative energy sources. Accordingly, it was decided that 60% of the gas cylinders distributed daily would be distributed to the Colombo and Gampaha districts. The company made the announcement when it appeared before the COPE yesterday to comment on the gas distribution delay. Professor Charita Herat, chairman of the Committee on Public Enterprises, COPE, has instructed the relevant company that distributions be made within the next 1 or 2 weeks. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. We continue with local news. The Commissioner General of Examinations, LMD Dharmasena, says that if there is any problem in the medium and the subjects or students sitting the GCE ordinary level examination, they can be corrected later. He also requested the candidates sitting the examination to notify the department regarding their problems on these numbers: 0112 784 208 or 0112 784 537. I will repeat those numbers: 0112 784 208 or 0112 784 537. He urged the students to arrive at their respective examination centres before 2 hours. He told the SLBC that all officers on duty at examination centres have been duly appointed. 4 members of the same family have been critically injured in a fatal collision of a train and a jeep. The jeep had collided against a train on the level crossing at Periamulla in Negombo this evening. The father, mother and 2 children were inside the vehicle at the time of the accident. After coming into contact with the train, the car had been dragged along the railway line before crashing against a power pole. According to residents of the area, the vehicle had to be cut in half to remove the 4 people trapped inside. Next, we take a look at the main news story.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Sri Lanka police has decided to begin island-wide raids from tomorrow in search of people hoarding diesel or petrol for resale. The police spokesperson said such persons will be taken into custody. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
This is Watchlight.
15,724 dengue cases have been reported in the country during this year. 469 such cases were reported this month. The majority of cases have been reported in the Colombo and Gampaha districts. The spreading of dengue cases may increase with the onset of the rainy season. That was Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
World News headlines: Australia's ruling coalition in tight spot as votes counted. Russia halts gas supplies to Finland. COVID in North Korea. No response to US vaccine offer. Vote counting got underway in Australia's general election held yesterday. Attention is focused on whether the country will get its first change of government in 9 years. Early results are expected in the coming hours. The latest poll showed the largest opposition Labour Party, led by Anthony Albanese, ahead of Prime Minister Scott Morrison's ruling Conservative coalition. The side that wins a majority of lower house seats will form a new government. Morrison campaigned on his economic successes during the pandemic and his tough stance towards China. Russia has halted its gas supply to Finland, the latest escalation of an energy payments row with the West. Russia's gas giant Gazprom confirmed it had completely halted exports to Finland today. Finland said all the deliveries had stopped but added there would be no disruption to customers. Helsinki has been refusing to pay for its supplies in rubles, but the cutoff also follows an announcement that Finland will apply for NATO membership. Despite its invasion of Ukraine on the 24th of February, Russia continues to supply gas to many European countries. President Joe Biden says North Korea has not responded to a US offer of COVID vaccines as the country battles its first acknowledged outbreak. Nearly 2.5 million people have been sickened by fever in North Korea, and it is under nationwide lockdown according to the country's state media. It is thought to be particularly vulnerable because it has little testing or vaccine supply. Mr. Biden announced the offer at a press conference in South Korea. We've offered vaccines not only to North Korea but to China as well, and we're prepared to do that immediately, Mr. Biden said in a joint appearance with South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol. To end this bulletin of world news, we take a look at the headlines again. Australia's ruling coalition in tight spot as votes counted. Russia halts gas supplies to Finland. COVID in North Korea. No response to US vaccine offer. That ends this bulletin of world news. Next, we take a look at development news. The government of France has donated a stock of medicine worth over 115 million rupees on a request made by the government. The French government has agreed to provide this concession due to the shortage of medicine in the country. The stocks will reach the country during the next few days. That was development news.
Sports news is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Defending champions Chennai Super Kings have not had a happy IPL 2022, but they have a leg up for the next edition. DS Dhoni will be with the team as a player next season and, importantly, is going to be their captain too. The main reason to play, as Dhoni explained, is to bid adieu to his supporters in Chennai and the rest of India. That was sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Emirates and Dilmah Tea have enjoyed a long-standing partnership of brewing the finest teas on board and in the Emirates airport lounges around the world for the past 30 years. To mark the milestone on International Tea Day, all Emirates customers will get a special box of tea when they fly from Dubai today. In addition, first-class customers on flights to the UK will be treated to a food pairing, and Emirates onboard lounge will offer Dilmah tea-infused mocktails today. That was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSP You Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest. Make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Treasury bills to the value of 90,000 million rupees will be issued next Wednesday. It will be issued maturing on 91, 182 and 364 days. Bidding will conclude at 11 a.m. on Wednesday. That was
Saving
economic
money isn't
news.
easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
The weather report.
The Met Department says showers will occur at times in the Sabaragamo and central provinces. Meanwhile, several spells of showers are expected in the western and northwestern provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. Strong winds of about 40 to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the western slopes of the Central Hills, the northern, north-central and northwestern provinces, and in the Hambantota and Trincomalee districts. That was the weather report. To end tonight's news broadcast, we take a look at the headlines again. The media police spokesman says that the investigation into the violence which took place on the 9th of May will be completed soon. Litro Company to introduce mobile app on gas distribution from Monday. 60% of gas cylinders will be distributed daily to the Colombo and Gampaha districts. The examination chief urges students to arrive at their respective examination centres 2 hours before the start of the exam. 4 members of the same family have been critically injured in a fatal collision of a train and a jeep. That ends tonight's news broadcast.